If you are just wanting casual or a situationship, then ignore this advice because it's really only going to apply if you're someone who wants a healthy long-term relationship but is finding themselves stuck in situationships. If you are finding that when you're dating, men really like you, but they don't pursue you, let's talk about energetically how you can start to shift this. So right now your experience is probably that they will inconsistently communicate with you, but they're not asking you on dates. Or you'll start up a connection, you feel really good about it, and then they ghost. Or the most common, you start getting to know somebody and you're ending up stuck in a situationship hoping he will change his mind and turn it into more. What you really want is to be pursued by an empowered masculine man so you can be in your feminine energy, leaned back, trusting him to go forward, feeling secure and confident as he comes forward, making those bids and initiates that connection. If you are not experiencing that and you're experiencing people kind of entertaining and coming in and out but not pursuing you, let's talk about this. I am willing to bet that you are being what I lovingly call the chill girl. I'm also convinced that we all have a chill girl part. We just only let her out in certain environments and it usually happens unconsciously. The chill girl is the part of you that tries to be as pleasing as possible. She tries to have minimal needs. She tries to always play it cool. And usually this part is in response to fearing abandonment or rejection. So in your mind, you're thinking, if I just make it as easy as possible for him to stay, if I am as low maintenance as possible, if I have no needs, if I have no boundaries, if I don't speak up about these things, and I never upset him or risk upsetting him, then he won't leave, then he'll stay. Usually you don't know that's why you're doing it, but that's unconsciously what's happening. Those wounds, like I always talk about, the emotional wounds you don't heal are gonna drive your choices of who you attract and allow in dating. Chill girl is more in what I would call the wounded feminine camp. And if you don't know the 4 energies of wounded and empowered masculine and feminine, I have a 2-hour training on that, so feel free to dive in. The chill girl will often find herself swallowing her needs, swallowing when something hurts her feelings because I don't wanna be too much, I don't wanna push him away. Or she'll have a need, like more consistent communication, but she doesn't tell him because what if he thinks I'm too much and that's gonna make him go the other direction? All of this we think is being, in your mind, you're thinking, I'm giving him so much love and I'm not being difficult at all. Of course he's gonna wanna stay. If you want him to just stay, of course he's going to, right? He gets to dip in and out whenever he pleases with no requirement from you, be around your loving, open, feminine energy, like, Of course. But here's the thing. If you want to be pursued, you have to give him something to pursue. Right now, he is having access to all of your juicy feminine energy literally on tap for him with 0 requirements with having access to it. There is no standard or bar for him to pursue right now because you're just there. And I know it probably comes from you having this big heart and wanting love. I totally get that. But also the catch with that is when we want love so much that we're dropping our boundaries, we are always going to be settling because we're not holding the standard for the kind of partner we actually want. And what I always say is you get exactly what you allow and tolerate in love, not what you say you want, not what you ask for, but what you uphold the standard for. So if you want to start being pursued, what do we need to do? We need to step into our empowered feminine energy. You need to give him something to pursue. If you want a long-term healthy relationship where he pursues you. Meaning we cannot continue this pattern of swallowing your needs and pretending to be cool with anything and, oh, I'm always pleasing, I'm always good. Now, what I'm not saying is for you to pretend to make him work harder because that's gonna backfire. If you're like, great, well now I'll just play hard to get, I'll tell him all my needs, I'll make him work really hard. That only works when it's truly embodied, when you have clear standards and boundaries that you're actually willing to walk from somebody when you share the boundary. If you are just trying to make a man work and play hard to get, a healthy man is gonna smell manipulation and games from a mile away and be turned off because it's drama inducing. He's not gonna be interested if he actually wants to build a healthy relationship. So the only answer here is for you to slow down and get in touch with these parts. Number 1, the part of you that's fearing abandonment and is collapsing her boundaries because of it. Maybe there's even a part that isn't aware that she has boundaries and standards. What does someone need to do in order to have access to the deepest, juiciest, most feminine part of your heart? Saying your boundary and standing on your boundary are different. But when you step into this empowered feminine energy, you will absolutely repel people who want low effort connections and casual. And if that's not what you want, then that's actually what you want. Does that make sense? You want to repel those people. But if you want a healthy committed relationship, listen, my client, let's call her client E, who I worked with prior, came to me because she was always feeling stuck in this chill girl. She felt like she was so loving and open, and then she would get ghosted after a few dates, or they wouldn't take it any further, or they wouldn't commit, and getting stuck in these situationships, and she was so frustrated. And what shifted it for her is we went through the soft and secure framework, right? And she did the work to step into her empowered feminine energy. We got really clear on her standards, her boundaries, communicating them in healthy, empowered feminine ways, not controlling, bossy, shaming ways, healthy, empowered, feminine, open-hearted ways. And then she started dating from an empowered feminine space. She approached dating completely differently. I have tons of content on this you can look at. And the combination of her healing those long-standing wounds of fearing abandonment and fearing rejection, stepping into her empowered feminine energy versus her wounded, and then learning how to date and relate in healthy, empowered feminine ways led her to, just a few months later, meeting a great guy who treated her so well, who made it very clear very quickly, you're gonna be my girlfriend. I want you to be my girlfriend. And they've now been together for several months after many, 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 many months, maybe even years. I don't know if I ever asked her, of having the opposite experience. So if you're a chill girl, let me know if this resonated with you. I would love to know, and let me know how this landed in the comments.